Hi guys, welcome to my channel and here. Yep, and today's topic, sympathy. But for me, I want to talk more about the negative side of the sympathy, but how it happens. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Usually I'm doing translation from time to time, from lecture to lecture. I doesn't want to attack onto anyone, but when suddenly people bring in some concept onto me, I'll be very triggered. So that's why I want to do it onto it. Okay, so firstly, I want to do some disclaimer. So when I'm talking about toxicity of the sympathy or stupidity of the sympathy, it doesn't mean that sympathy is totally bad. But if you use it as the extreme, that you're only feeling sympathy without logic. Like you only have the emotion, you don't have something like logic to support. And what I mean is logic is reality. If you don't have these two things like to be support, basically it's something really dangerous and you're supposed to avoiding it. Yeah. Then you also need, like, for you, instead of like continue to grow your sympathy onto other people, you are supposed to close up a little bit sympathy and look a little bit onto the logic side. So let's go on to it. So why people feel sympathy is that a lot of time it's like an emotional bonding onto it. Okay, let's say, yeah, if you just see on a number, like, oh, today Iran having war with Israel, and Israel having this much people dying, and Iran having this much people dying, you don't feel guilty, you don't feel like sympathizing them. You'll be much more like, oh yeah, that's the war, too bad. But when there's some of your friends that you know in real life and you just met maybe recently, like 2 years, 3 years, then suddenly you just heard that, oh yeah, because of the war they die, and just all in a sudden the people that are living in front of you jumping all around, laughing, crying, and like doing all the mission together with you, and just suddenly die, like just in the news, and you know that you cannot see her, or you can't meet him in the future anymore. Yeah, suddenly your sympathy just rise up, and also you will think about their parents and their brothers, sisters, and yeah, all kind of things like this. It is totally normal to have sympathy onto these kind of things, and or sometimes it's a very strong emotional impact onto from other people. When I'm talking about the emotional impacts, usually crying. Yeah, if you are talking about sympathy, is because like somebody is like being put onto the into the low position, so that's why you're feeling like, oh yeah, me as someone who is much more privileged, I need to take care of them, or else I feel kind of bad onto them, right? I mean, a lot of time I also like fall into this kind of thinking. It doesn't mean that they are really weak, or they are really need help. A lot of time it's much more like just because my own thinking that, oh, they need helps, so that's why I help. And there's much more coming from the side of like, I forgot how to call it, but something like, I thought myself too important for them. But yeah, it is much more like onto this kind of case, and yeah, like too much onto my self value, so you can call myself selfish in a sense. Yeah, in this case. So yeah, it just happened. And also another type of the sympathy is making by the social harmony, which is known by the crowd effects. So it's well known crowd effects. If a bunch of people is crying for someone, if you don't, you will just very easy, because hormones and everything, emotions, like like the people how they cry, and you will just feel deep into your heart, and you start to sympathize. It's normal. Yeah. And like right now, in this era of media, a lot of people just think that, yeah, I'm like, I'm collecting all the information from here and there and here and there, but actually everybody only have the limited data, because you are a person that you only can expose onto a certain range of data. You only have this time, and within this time, you need to build logics. And once your logic build up, you need the supports. And if you want to have another set of logic, basically, you cannot have two like contradicting logic just come together in your own brain. So that's why you need to like destroy everything and you build it up. Like sometimes you would just put like two contradicts like together and you just call it like, okay, this is the period A, period B. But what if I just tell you, okay, the period A and B, there's no such thing, and everything needs to be put onto one? A lot of people can't really take it, so that's why they are really like protecting their logic. So you can see why sometimes when throwing facts onto some other people, um, they are not taking onto it. But yeah, I mean, just as a reminder, everybody having a limitation onto their absorption of the media. So that's why a lot of time when you just see like, oh, a lot of people die in Iran, oh, so bad because like Israel and America attacking them. Then you go to the Ukraine and Russia, oh, the same situation. Then you just go to see like China. Yeah, nobody talk about China. Why? Because it's not the leftist. It's not the leftist like policies. Yeah, it just happened a lot of time. And why right here I want to talk about the sympathy is being toxic itself is that a lot of people, when they forgot about, or like they totally ignore about the facts, to doing fact checks. And when I'm talking about fact checks, is that you need to go and study. So a lot of time media don't talk about it. Why? Because like it's the best for keeping people to be stupid. So the politicians don't need to put a lot of efforts onto study. And this is much more easy, to be honest. It's really easy. You just make people into stupids, and whatever you just say, and people will just believe. Yeah, it just always happen. It always works. And yeah, in this way. And um, I mean, part of it, let's say transgender surgeries that being pushed in Americas. So they're over sympathized onto the kids, and they don't set any boundaries for the kids. So whatever the kids say, maybe is correct. And even though they clearly know that they're influenced like through media, but then because of like just sympathy without thinking about the consequences that after what they just might happen, they just nudge ahead and taking away from the parents and put them onto surgery. And after that, when the child finally like, oh, they really don't want that surgery, it's already too late. They're already taking hormones and everything, harming themselves. So bad. And that's basically built on the sympathy. So as I already explained in my idealism video, when I talk about the idealism people, yeah, that is like the most of the portions of people who change into LGBTQ, as well as the like psychological problems, yeah, usually come from idealism. In a way, idealism is really hard to survive in this era, because you don't have something that a space for you to work onto yourself, and you are just keep on facing all the intellectual challenges from time to time. So a lot of time, like when they just um finally being approached by people, when they finally like go out to the stage and like to outside and trying to protest about their ideas, and when finally people talking to them intellectually, usually we'll just hear them saying, I'm not listening to you, I don't want to hear your bullshit, I don't want to hear whatever you say. And instead of like, okay, let's do some discussion, what's your data, what's your statistics, and where did you go all this data, and how can we just understand all this thing much more clearly? Like, they're already shutting themselves, because whenever they are doing something, they are already like getting to their TI side, like internal thinking side. So usually in this side, they're very defensive logically. Like, why being logically defensive? Because like once you crumble their internal thinking itself, they'll feel like the whole earth collapse, unless there's somebody like already give them a whole brand new of like how can I say, value system for them to support themselves intellectually, or else they can't. So usually like idealism in themselves, they are the most easy to be lead up. They are the most easy to go with the extremists, because they're already being lit up. So yeah, they go with the idea, they go with the dream. And at the same time, it's most easy to crumble them into pieces, and at the same time, like putting them into a place that they will really feel like isolated. So that's why actually they are powerful, but at the same time they are very weak. I mean, in a sense of weak, is that they are logically like kind of incapable. I'm sorry, but I don't mean that you all are stupid, but it's that usually you are being put onto a very vulnerable places. When you're vulnerable, you are absorbing, and when you're being vulnerable, what does it mean? It means that you're negative. That's how human beings works. So being vulnerable, you're putting somewhere like a negative, and you're absorbing in that state. And when you're finally doing onto something, you're really not absorbing onto anything. Like even though there is something positive happening, you're not taking it. So that's why a lot of time they are really in a lonely place. That's why they are the most unstable people usually in the country. They are the most unstable cause for the society, and because of their unstable cause, so you will just see like America, like during like a post-war, and when everybody is like fighting and for the country and for the patriotism that the country is like building for them, then suddenly a bunch of people just being lit up and saying that, yeah, we are supporting the socialism and we are not supposed to attack onto the Soviet Union so much. Yeah, guess what? Lenin, Vladimir Lenin gave them a name, which is the useful idiots. Sorry, but yeah, why they are useful idiots? In this sense, yeah, they're building up all their thinking very easy. They are easily to be influenced. You just need to bring them into some certain type of the emotional atmosphere environment, so they are much more easy to study. But usually when they study something negative, and suddenly like crushing their idealism, and suddenly somebody just put in a whole bunch of system saying that, yeah, see, something is a logically working system, which is called communism. Like a lot socialism, and everybody loves socialism in the Cold War era. And you heard about the communism, and they have a self prophecy and saying that, yeah, we are the future of the democratic. And yeah, that's how the idealism like quickly absorb all the things without checking any facts, because it's it's no need for them. As long as they feel good, they think that this is the destiny, so they will just fight for it. So usually when they like when they start to do all the fact checks itself, they're already back to their normal states. So what does it mean that you're going back to a normal states? Like their normal states is the idealism. So they will just go back to their good thinking, even though how bullshit like the new the new structure itself, like they will just make everything rationalized, because their logic is no longer structure, it's everything linear. So in linear, there's no such thing as like a true force. Like there's only true force, but there's nothing about like that. Is it supposed to be good, or is it supposed to be bad? Like there's nothing else about it anymore in the end. Yeah, that's how they just crumble everything up, making Lenin just calling them, yeah, useful idiots. Yeah, so what I want to talk about it. So actually, for you to know about like all the sympathy itself, that's not something bad. Actually, you should continue doing it. But at the same time, you need to do a little bit questioning from time to time. And the questioning itself is not only like staying on as an individual level, you also need to go onto the grouping level and also responsibility level. Always I'm talking about the responsibility level. Why? Because once you are losing your responsibility, you're not doing your responsibility, you are basically bringing some other people misfortunes. Let's say like if you're a president and you have a right to attack, or we say to punish those who are breaking a law, but you decide you don't punish them. Okay, because you think that okay, yeah, I need to love all of them, right? Or like at least I want to show that I have a heart of sympathy, even though you don't have a plan how you can change them, how you can just love them. So instead of punishing them, you're much more like just letting them doing whatever things without any consequences. And what are the possible things would just happen after that? Like people will start to like doing things without any consent, and they were just like attacking other people, killing other people. And why they're doing onto this kind of level? Because there's totally no consequences onto them. But yeah, but usually you don't need to be too much worried, because like people will just finally take up their own gun. I mean, in America, okay, yeah, people taking up their own gun, or and they finally fight back. But then, in this case, because the chaos is still continue on and on, and yeah, it will be chaotic, and it will be like until one day, like the government can control, then the underground forces will just taking over the country and become a dictator country. Yeah, so usually like after the dictatorships, usually the useful idiots are the first bunch of the people who are being targeted to be killed. If you see how Iran, they changing from the democratic regime into Islamic regime, the first bunch of people who they kill, the useful idiots, the idealist. So that's why I say the idealist is always like being put onto a very dangerous place for all the time. They are really lonely. Yeah. So if you have some idealism, friend, love them. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you need to abandon them, but love them. But at the same time, keep on challenging them, letting them grow, but at the same time, show them the love. Yeah, that's how our humans like always need to be. Like this, the two parts of the essence for us to grow all the time. Even God itself, like when we say there's an inner God, there's the heart, and also the outer God, that's the purpose. This put these two parts of them. Yeah, I think I just already talk about like most of it. Yeah, so don't afraid to search for truth. Truth itself is always useful, but at the same time, just know, are you taking partial truth, or you are taking at least a bigger margin of truth from time to time? Yeah. With that being said, yeah, thank you for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and also like if you like it, you can share it to your friend. Put a comment down there, and yeah, if you want to support me, tell me. Yeah. See you in my next video. See ya.